really do anything. There's a Winter Wyvern and you can burst through that if
Wrap up this
that
Game 3, Wind Ranger. Let's see how it goes down. BSJ and OD Philip.
This bodes well.
Thank you, Tsunami. Unlike Slacks, I'm super excited to see this Wind Ranger coming out from Quinn. 10th pick. We got ourselves a Game 3, and winner of this gets top 3 at the major minimum, Owen. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for some flashy stuff once again from Quinn. You know, last game we did see, even in the loss, him playing his heart out on the Ember, on the Wind Ranger, we can expect just as much action from Quinn darting across the map. And from the side of T1, always happy to see a PA. A lot of fun to be had for this hero. You know, 23savage, if he's able to get sort of a semblance of farm that he did in the other games, this PA is going to be coming out with the big crits. And as the panel mentioned, a lot of lovely targets for him to commit on during the BKB. But of course, Quinn could be that thorn in his side if Quinn's able to get off to a good start, get a good timing on the end. T1, though, they do have pretty good defensive measures to fight around 23savage's. All in all, I think we're in for another cracker of a game here.
Yeah, we did see Sand King as an attempt to deal with a Broodmother, and yes, it's nice on paper, but he has to put himself in danger consistently in order to stop these spider armies, as well as the Nature's Prophet Treant armies, and they just have so much damage, single target focused, that I don't know if Abaddon's going to be enough to keep Carl alive, and Carl really is the barrier between Quincy Crew and the PA, who's going to need to farm up that Battle Fury, get large like you just said. Are they going to have enough time? I'm just not sure. This is exactly what I would hope Quincy Crew would draft if I'm a Quincy Crew fan going into Game 3.
Sure, well, you just feel that Quincy Crew's lineup, they're going to be able to get so much done in that timing where Savage is trying to pretty much get those first 2 main items complete.
Yeah, similar game story to Game 1. This is bread and butter of the North American region. Nature's Prophet carry says it all. Lanes, lanes, lanes. That's the sheer focus with the momentum coming out of that early map control where they just have 3 cores because they have so much area to farm. And I was watching Leslau's stream, I believe about a month ago, and he was spamming Broodmother, and he said to his viewers, I quote, "I apologize, guys. I suck. I have to learn this hero." So he has clearly spammed a lot of Broodmother since then, as they are confident enough to pick it in the semi-final Game 3 of the upper bracket. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's learned in the recent past.
No, absolutely, and rather early in the draft as well, so some definite confidence here in Leslau from the team in terms of what he must have been able to achieve whilst practicing the hero. And we will see indeed if it comes into practice here, as they'll start the lane off him and MSS on this top against Whitemon and Savage. I mean, looking at the ways that the lanes are set up, in this bottom lane in particular, as you said, the NA standard that we've come to really sort of see its power from today, this safe lane, Nature's Prophet. A pretty easy lane for him. I mean, Viper, Wyvern, can these heroes do much against the Prophet in the lane?
Not really. They can be a bit of a nuisance, but as you can see, the Treants already has 5 denies on Yawar. That's just so much damage from his right clicks as well as the trees. They don't have very high base damage. Wyvern barely sitting at 40, Viper sitting at 55. I think Yawar with the trees has more than them 2 combined, if I could do quick maths there.
I think that your maths is pretty accurate. So definitely
2
strong, as you say, in the way he's able to take these away. Bottom, got the stomp onto Cuckoo. It's going to give them time to get into good position to get some future hits in onto the Viper, but they'll pump the Fairy Fire. It's actually going to be top where the first blood will go down. They won't quite be able to get the Viper. It's the top lane. The jumps made onto MSS. As the 2 of them, you know, Whitemon able to enable the ability for 23savage to get aggressive onto these 2 and really break open the lane to give himself a lot of space here. You know, 23savage this time around, it's not a slow start. He's having no struggle hitting the creeps up here.
Doesn't seem like the end of the world for the top lane for Quincy Crew, as Leslau is out leveling both of them, and Broodmother's such a level dependent hero. And once he gets that level 6, it's going to be on Carl to rotate up there, and then it's going to most likely be on Quinn to follow him and shut down that early defense. How early can Quinn get that javelin? That's the question. He is rushing it after the bottle. I like that they upgraded the Sand King to a mid, just because of how important I tried to talk about his role being in this game. But because they put him mid, they're giving Wind Ranger quite a good start. Both mid laners trading farm. Sand King doesn't really do much to a ranged mid laner. Wind Ranger can lose a lot of matchups in the mid lane. Pretty greedy mid laner. She likes to chill and farm. Unlike her kit kind of says, a lot of these NA mid laners I've seen, they'll get that full Maelstrom sometimes before they make a single rotation. So it's really going to be reactionary from Quinn, and I know he's going to pick and choose his rotations well.
No, I mean, if the last game's anything to go by, as I say, if you just sort of look at the first 75% of that game, Quinn's movement's completely on point.
I think that weakness, or not necessarily weakness, but play style preference of Wind Ranger is complemented well by the fact that they have a safe lane Nature's Prophet. And this is the kind of stuff that Quincy Crew and EG do so well, is just which heroes, how many heroes have to be active on the map. But T1, they've shown that they can stall out a game. Game 1, even though they did end up losing, they stalled out incredibly well, and they employed a similar strategy in Game 2, and just whether or not it's going to be long enough for this PA in Game 3 is the question.
Both side lanes still, it's I guess the bottom lane really where seeing someone have the toughest of times. You know, Cuckoo, not too much you can do against Yawar's Prophet. This ability to reset, and Yawar's, we see the denies continuing to fly in as he continues to hold such good control of this bottom lane. Steam mid, Carl. Aggressive onto Quinn, starting to run out of the bottle charges here. And he's just down to Freya Fire. The Javelin is out. Very, very low here, Quinn.
Yeah, I'm curious about Carl's build. He's rushing the Blink Daggers. Whiteman.
Is the shield going to be enough? It will be. Savage turns over to make sure they can't chase the Abaddon any further. And what is it the sort of... You're not a huge fan, or what other things would you have liked to see him consider?
Maybe boots of travel to accelerate to that blink, as every time I try to talk, Whiteman, get in position, man.
I mean, it's top lane. He's dancing on the edge. He's going to be able to get out. Savage, he's got no blink for a few seconds here. MSS has got the stun up. Savage, he's going to go down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So get the kill on Savage, and at the same time, Quinn's getting the kill mid. I mean, just like that, beautiful synergy and timing there for Quincy Crew. Killing the mid, killing the carry in the same second.
Yeah, he got level 6 on Wind Ranger and the Javelin at the exact same time. Absolutely massive power spike that allows him to do so. And I'm concerned because once he blinks and stuns, yeah, it's great and all that you have some squishy cores like the Wind Ranger and the Nature's Prophet, but then what? Who on your team is going to give you that extra little bit of oomph to follow you up? I don't see much of that coming out. PA is going to be farming Viper, Abaddon, and Winter Wyvern. Not exactly the type of heroes that I would say are +1s for kill combos. Does he have a sentry? It looks like he was dusted.
It's top lane now. Leslau hitting the 6. It's going to take full control of this. We see already Savage just heading away from the lane. Not really going to be a place that he'll feel too comfortable farming in whatsoever. Whiteman might try and pick up some XP. We'll see Carl start to swing across as well towards the top. Maybe see if they can get the catch onto either of these two. But backup from LOA also coming in. Carl, he's in with a stun, but not really much more that he can offer up. Especially with the 3 of Quincy Crew up here, T1, they've got to be careful.
Yeah, this is exactly what Carl's got to do. Now the question is, what's Quincy Crew's response going to be? Some Broods we've seen just simply rotate to the mid lane off of this, but he did walk to top on Carl, so that's pretty smart of him to do, because it holds his TP, being able to TP if the Broodmother tries to threaten a different lane. But Carl just trying to clear the spiders, it appears. Looks like he'll get all of them. That might be the relatively inexperienced Broodmother play coming out from Leslau there, not splitting up the spiders for the caustic.
We're going to want to feed too many of them to Carl. There's Carl getting a nice cash boost there. Still, it is Quinn that holds the top of the charts here with the net worth. And some of the camps here from T1 as he steps into their triangle. 23savage trying to make use of the space that he's getting in this mid lane. We're starting to see a bit more mobility in both teams' heroes. Leslau seems to put creeps and farm away. MSS, maybe see if we can get a setup onto one of the two of them. The Spider's heading in. So they're not going to want to dive under this tower here, especially with level 1. I say that, MSS getting aggressive there with the Hex and the stun, but no follow-up here from Leslau. Just keeping Carl contained around the tower. So they keep tabs of the Sand King's position.
Yeah, they kind of just control the map while they're farming on Quincy Crew. All their heroes are such a huge threat, not only because of their innate skill sets, Wind Ranger with the solo kill threat and Broodmother with this spider army just looming, but you also have the Nature's Prophet who's just jungling with the global TP and the global ulti at the ready.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Quinn,
attack.
he's getting in. Whitemon, he's going to get caught out by the stun. The MSS able to catch him. Quinn, he's been Viper striked. He's outside the Hex into the stomp pair. LOA able to find the two of them. Carl, he's trying to get the epicenter going, but the damage is done. Leslau gets a second kill over towards Cuckoo. They take out the three of them as Quincy Crew swarm the top lane, and T1 just not in any sort of setup or prepared to defend against that pressure and collapse from Quincy Crew coming in this early around that tier 1 tower. It's just a complete trap for them, that area too, for T1.
That was exactly what I was concerned about for this T1 lineup. There's so much weight on this Sand King's shoulders to do just that, and because they picked this Wind Ranger, they are able, they will never lack damage to be able to bring him down, and they can dive so far with the Broodmother being able to free path through the trees, and that early javelin into a maelstrom, it's just going to accelerate him so fast on Quinn that even if PA hits that timing, I imagine Quinn will likely have most of an MKB and a BKB by that point, and he can kind of just remove 23savage from the fights if he does.
Yeah, there's just going to be huge pressure on the supports to try and break 23savage out of that sort of lockdown and focus from Quinn. It's not going to be easy indeed. Quinn having a stellar start once again. 103. He's picked up an Invis rune. He's ready to get on the hunt for more here as he starts to head to the jungle of T1. Starting to play around with Carl. Save of Whitemon. Still we're seeing Carl really struggling to show his face there. The ult coming through nearly takes him out. They'll heal him up with a missed call. Leslau, of course, diving into the trees to look for the two of them. He's able to take down Whitemon. Carl's got to stay hidden. He's got to step away from the spider. Meanwhile, over towards the mid lane, they will be able to take out LOA in return. Cuckoo's able to manage to get in with the Viper strike.
Yeah, all three top net worths going in favor of Quincy Crew. If you're a spectator at home, I just want you to imagine if anyone on the side of T1 goes past the river, what happens to them? You know, Takarl's responsible for defending the towers. Viper would just get ganked by one support.
He's gonna try. Dealing with the jump on Quinn, but Quinn, he's still able to get the wind run off. He's away from the four of them. They come in mid, they commit with the epicenter. They don't have enough damage. You can try. In fact, Quinn, he's ready to go back in. He's poking at them here with the focus fire. Hold embrace onto Carl. And keep him safe. Shackle not going to latch. Cuckoo turns back over towards Quinn. Another Viper strike is down upon him. He's running away, but the damage from the Viper strike isn't enough. The bottle charges. Quinn's able to bottle himself up between the ticks of damage as Quinn will live.
Okay. This seems good for T1. I would say if nothing's happening, that's in their favor. And even if a bunch of spells are casted, even ultimates from the side of T1, they're perfectly content if it's buying time for this PA.
Did have to spend a bit of time back in the base, Savage, as he walks himself out, but yeah, Battle Fury just about a perseverance away for the PA. Regards to his progress, you are getting the Maelstrom after the Witchblade. We're seeing the River Cuckoo. Find himself here. Quinn's on the charge. Stomp isn't going to catch him, but you are TPing in. He will be able to set up. They get the stun follow-up. That's Cuckoo got. Another kill for Quinn. Quincy Crew continuing to show that T1 have to be so careful when they show their face.
Yeah, we heard earlier that Nature's Prophet's really good at punishing Abaddon because he just lacks stuns and wave clear. And even though Viper has wave clear, he's just so susceptible to exactly what you saw there. And it's such a good pick coming out from Quincy Crew. It just pace of the game-wise. Pick off a combination of the stuns from the Lion and the Wind Ranger.
Look at this. That's another catch.
Looks so easy.
Quinn's able to come around, get the grab onto Zephyr. Zephyr's gone. Quinn is able to turn, poke out the borrowed time from Whitemon. Slow by the splitter here. Leslau wants getting past the trees with the spiders. He'll manage to do so. The babies are sent in by Leslau. Double kill for the spider. It's 9 for 3. Quincy Crew Look to put the pressure on mid. Carl is hiding in the trees. Will show himself now. MSS waiting at the side. Still 50 seconds until Fingers back up. It's 23savage, yeah, desperately trying to use any sort of moment to get his Battle Fury done. Still about a ring away from it. 5k down as a whole here, T1. This Quincy crew, they are certainly hitting all the timings they wanted to here with this lineup so far, 13 minutes in. And they're not going to stop anytime soon. Immediate smoke up, Quincy crew continuing to slam their foot down on the pedal.
Yeah, Maelstrom already complete, working on the BKB for Quinn. Once he gets that BKB plus win run is invincibility here for the foreseeable future. Whiteman looking to just tank it looks like.
Yeah, has got the ult. And again, with the control, nice shackle lined up as well. Leaves no chance for Whiteman to break his way out of this. Another kill for Quinn. Top lane, they've got the setup onto Leslau with the curse. It's got Carl revving up the damage with the epicenter. Comes in the goodbye spider babies. Is it goodbye mama though? As Leslau is trying to fight back with the lifesteal. It is indeed a death at the end of it all. Cuckoo's got that extra bit of poison and melt through the spiders. They'll take out Leslau.
That is a very important kill, as Broodmother is non-stop pressure here, but you are doing a good job of putting another point of pressure on the map, as Carl forced to constantly follow this pressure around, as he is the only source of relief. But PA, 23savage, he's getting his space. He has his Battle Fury, 15 minutes, decent timing.
Absolutely, yeah, considering how much of a tough start he had on that top lane. The recovery really is being made here by Savage.
How long does he need with this Battle Fury? Will he go for the BKB, or will he be able to stall out with the Desolator? We saw last game that he was able to delay that BKB for 2 full items on Terrorblade, and just allows you to accelerate so much quicker. Looks like he's chewing up the Deso into an SNY, completely ignoring the BKB. Don't know how I feel about that against Wind Ranger with the Maelstrom from the True Strike, as well as the Witchblade on the Nature's Prophet.
Cuckoo taking a big finger to the face here from MSS. So nice, the stack builds up for MSS. I mean, I guess, yes, it's 23savage, just feeling confident in the backup that his supports can offer. But as you say, even with the cold embrace and the Aphotic Shield, there's many a bit of magic damage that will be thrown down on him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Going the aggressive route when it comes to being defensive. At least if he does indeed continue to follow up with the build. Now, like, you know, this is the way you want to play PA. You never want to be forced to get a BKB earlier than you want, or getting a BKB at all, you know, if you can avoid it.
And one of the most unnecessary indirect nerfs to PA was the Witchblade proc giving True Strike. It's now such a natural item for any int core to build. It gives you armor, so you're stronger against the PA, and now you're guaranteed to get that first hit off. And apparently, I read on Reddit, I trust you guys, so if I'm wrong, I blame you, is that if you are BKB, the Witchblade will not proc, and though it triggers it as though it is. So the Witchblade will just give you permanent True Strike on any target as long as you haven't triggered the cooldown. So, gotta be careful of that moving forward. The Witchblade, as long as it's off cooldown, will give True Strike, and it doesn't proc on a BKB. So, it, as of a few days ago, it gave True Strike, yeah.
That makes sort of weird, you know, Dota 2 mechanic-y sense, yeah.
Smoke up.
We've got T1. Let's see what they can get. And with the ult's ready to go. Carl has got that level 2 epicenter, so they've got good damage to kick out. Oh, they're looking for Yawar. Gonna find Prophet alone. Quick jump, Yawar's gone. Did they get the grab on the items?
I don't think he got it. I feel like they stole it. Did they? Did he send it home?
No, I think the item drops were just what 23savage found, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought I saw it drop right next to Yawar there. What happened to it?
I believe you, I've not got the replay screen in front of me. I trust you. There's a mid lane. They're in on a Savage. They've got to split it down as well. Elaway straight in. They've got the Hex control. They're locking down the PA.
Oh my God.
Savage gets taken out. Carl, he's trying for the TP out. Will manage to make it out of there. But wow, a bit of a fight out of nowhere, really. T1 just finding themselves caught out in the mid lane. As seems like they sort of just turned themselves off for a second. 23savage just, you know, for all the first 17 minutes of this game where he's been very careful with his positioning, He just gets caught out completely there.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, I think this is why Radiant Broodmother is so much more potent than Dire Broodmother, because you're naturally sitting on the top half of the map, or at least the opponent off lane, and you just walk straight into Roche whenever you have map control. And last game, Broodmother earlier on in the day, we saw it have issues ever turning the early advantage into that Roshan, which then snowballs your advantage even further. And right here, 1 kill on the PA allows Quincy Crew to do just that. And I don't know exactly when what we saw mid changes. 23savage kind of just died instantly to a focus fire plus lion stuns, and the S&Y will help with that because you're never going to be able to react to that Hex and it just lowers the duration. But I don't even know if he can survive a 25% lower duration Hex later on.
Yeah, no, it's not an easy game for them. They need so much time, and as you say, you know, it's very clear that Quincy Crew are ticking all the boxes when it comes to just not giving that sort of opportunity and space for 23savage to bring this game to the point where he's going to feel comfortable. Seeing some of these huge arms flying out, MSS, he's got the blink, he'll have that easier method of catch. You are seeming to get as much space as he wants. Only a Mithril Hammer away from the BKB. So they'll have good front line here on Quincy Crew. Quinn as well. BKB's going to be... It's done. So those 2 BKBs are going to make it very hard for them to fight into. We see TP's coming in down one, and they may have got the tower, but Quinn, he still wants to rock and roll. He's in onto Savage. The Cold Embrace will come through. They've got magic damage to work through it. They'll use the curse to try and hold back Quinn. Savage solo will look to get back in onto MSS. Quinn, another Shackles there. He's got enough damage for Savage. He's trying to keep on top of the tree, but Savage out again with the blink to the side, but Quinn's able to hunt him down. Double kill for Quinn. The storm comes out from LOA. Whitemon's TP's put to an end as Quincy Crew once more is cleaning up in style. Quinn 6-0-6. They cannot handle the Quinn Ranger.
You know, something about NA Dota, I just love seeing Quinn, with the help of MSS, kill 3 heroes bottom, and somehow Leslau's also dying on the other side of the map. Yeah, but they're ahead 15-7. That's the chaos we live and die on, Owen, and that's exactly what I love to see on this stage, as it is working. And it's a 6K net worth lead, 20 minutes in.
Oh, you are? See ya. Out he goes. TP out underneath the nose of Cuckoo. There's nothing that can stop him.
Fairy Fire. Just in case.
Quinn. I think he might have found himself some more action, or maybe not the action he wants, Carl. Even with the Burrow Strike upon him. He's still got the BKB. He's holding onto it for now. Of course, still has the Aegis on the top of it all. They do try, but Quinn's too speedy. He's able to break himself around it all, and he's out of there.
He's got the Boots of Travel queued up. It's such a natural progression for them. With this Boots of Travel, all 3 of the support duo in the off lane, the Broodmother, Lion, and ET, are a huge threat, because you've got the Nature's Prophet as well as the Wind Ranger by your side at any point. And just imagine when you're trying to farm from T1's perspective, that possibility is always on the table. There's the M-Claw. We found it. Kudos to our observer, but nobody's using it.
Yeah, I mean, are you more of a? Would you follow the way of 23savage here with the Vambrace over the Imp Claw as a PA, or would you take the Imp Claw? Are the stats that valuable for Savage this game?
I think you might need to take the approach of killing them before they kill you. You know, shout out to JJ for making sure we can contemplate this as probably the most important thing as we watch these 2 teams farm, whether or not... I think if this was a Suns fan cast, I'm going to do my best imitation. I don't really care about what's about to happen in the game. We have a crucial debate about a neutral item in the fountain of T1.
Under attack.
We might have something coming though, Quinn. Can get the grab on 23savage. Be about to go down here, but Savage, he's sneaking away. And he senses that they're on the way over. Nothing to be caught here. At least, yeah, MSS might still find a jump. It's Whitemon. He's in the webs they're in. Immediate borrow time. Whitemon I'm gonna make sure he gets out of this alive, but he might not have the opportunity to get the shackle. They're still being careful about it. The finger in the power shot comes through. They burst through the embrace of the Wyvern as Zephyr's save will not help out. The curse will hold back MSS, will turn Quincy Crew against their own Lion, but Yawar, he's in on the front, bullying them back up and the power shot not enough to take out Cuckoo. But the spiders! Leslau, he's able to spit from the low ground, sends in the babies, and the boom from the blast of his ultimate will take down Cuckoo through the cold embrace.
Yeah, this is just demoralizing if you're on the side of T1. They're gonna have to find that one fight. Very similar, but a little bit rougher of a scenario compared to game one, because in game one, they had the Spectre who could kind of be farming wherever and look to capitalize on that gold presence, but now you've got the PA. They're gonna have to specifically play around 23savage if they want to get that damage to bring down all these. They're not necessarily tanky, but they all have their innate form of survivability. Broodmother free pathing, BKB on the Nature's Prophet, Wind Ranger, Wind Run.
Looking for the catch on Zephyr. Zephyr, he needs backup right now. They'll come up with the stop on Zephyr. MSS locks him down with the stun. The shield's out. Zephyr to try and get him out of there. Leslau in on the front. The power shot's off the mark. Zephyr will manage to avoid it. They won't lose anyone this time round, T1.
Yeah, the rough feeling that you have as a carry in this spot when you're playing PA is you're the only one that really scales in consistent damage output. So Quincy Crew can afford to itemize purely against you as the game goes on. We see it even in the draft from the Wind Ranger pick, last pick. You're seeing why it's such a good pick coming out from Quinn. But it's this sheep stick that Leslau's got queued up. Oftentimes you have to look for some aura item to buff up your team. But when you can just say, screw that one guy, we'll be good enough to take care of the rest, it makes it that much more difficult. And I know I keep harping on that for T1, how the uphill battle that they have to fight, but this is at the end of the day the situation they're in.
No, I mean, no, it really is. It's you know, all on this PA. What can 23savage achieve? BKB a recipe away. Once he has that, he's got to be early with popping it. No doubt about it, every single team fight, because of how much there is going to be to catch him out. But even then, the power that Quinn's built up himself, Leslau and Yawar, these are never really going to be easy fights for T1 with this lead that Quincy Crew have.
Oh my god.
Not dying to the spiders here. I mean, he's got to turn, he's got to use the cold embrace. You see Quinn swinging around from the side. Shackle will latch onto the two of them. They get in, they're ready to go. The splitter's coming out, they're in with a stun. They've got the lockdown. Carl's going to jump back in onto MSS. MSS keeping himself alive with the glimmer. Will manage to get the hex off. Over to the side, they've locked down Quinn. They've killed him off. T1, they'll be able to get the turn around and take out the big old Wind Ranger. Leslau, he's into the base, he's running away. T1's in with the chase. Carl, another barrel strike. They've got the lockdown. T1, they'll strike back. The exact fight they needed. 3 heroes down. T1, they'll take a team fight.
He didn't have BKB on PA yet. I'll just go ahead and put a sock in my mouth, as I thought it was going to be incredibly difficult, but it just takes, I believe, a slight overextension from MSS in there, ready to blink in and capitalize on that shackle, but he's just a tad late. Got instantly burrow striked by Carl. Good reaction by him. And when the Lion's out of the picture, it's much easier for the PA to enter the fight, which is just going to amp up his damage so much as you watch here. MSS blinks in and get instantly stunned.
The back of that fight, T1, they're in a position to start getting some of these towers. Tier 1 mid should fall. Quinn's coming in. Quinn can punish them here for this. Scans out. The T1 know that backup's coming in. Not going to overstay their welcome. Carl cleans out the wave. He's back and away. Savage, level 17, really hitting that max crit level and going for the Basher next after the BKB to make sure he has a bit more control. Not going for the MKB this game though, at least so far, so relying on other methods to kill off Quinn. And as we saw last time round, they were able to do so. Some good control from their supports. Quincy Crew, smoke up, looking towards maybe catching Carl. Shows himself on the top wave, see if MSS can get the jump. Carl is already into the trees. He knows they're going to be looking to make plays like this, and he's not going to get caught out by it.
Yeah, even though they're not necessarily doing anything else that appears to get them back in the game on the side of T1, look at the map compared to what it was before. They were cowering in their base for so long, but because of that one fight, they're getting so much more efficiency than they were. Carl's farming top, the rest of the team's farming around the bottom half, one hero pushing out the mid lane. This is just such a palpable difference after one team fight. And Quincy Crew, similar spot to game one. one little overextension. Now they're going to have to wait for that second Rosh, and it doesn't look like T1's going to let them have it for free.
Is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Oh, they scanned him. That's a Radiant scan. They know they're on their own triangle.
See if they can set up for this in return. They can look to hold the high ground over T1's half of things. T1 actually looks to sneak into the Rosh Cabinet, and we'll get scouted here. Quincy crew know exactly what's going on.
Ambitious.
Visibility.
Don't mind it though. What if they forgot to check?
You got to take your chances here. Huge game here, as you say, securing yourself at top spots here so far
Dyer's
at the major.
top tower is under attack.
Game 3, everything on the line. Leslau, he's onto the tier 3 hit,
Radiant's
forcing
middle
back
tower
reactions.
is under attack.
Will come from 23savage. A return to hold the
crit.
defense. Jawar. Savage is hitting harder and harder, going for the Ags next. So BKB, in fact, changing up instead of the bash over towards the river. They've caught Whitemon. Quick jump, Cuckoo. Coming in from the side, lays down the pipe strike on MSS, but MSS has the Glimmer Cape to get away. Stomps out with a finger. Whitemon. He's getting blown very, very quickly. Actually, this shield, he's trying to run. Is that going to be enough to save a minute? Quinn gets the last hit in. Savage. He's in with the BKB, though. Used the curse to lock down your Jawar, Quinn. Managed to get the BKB out in time for Savage. He's trying to chase down Quinn. Buyback comes out from LOA. The dagger is enough. Savage. He takes down Quinn. Another huge kill for the PA. Jawar's out with the BKB TP. The Yule's control onto Leslau. Daggers in. Leslau trying to run, but T1, they've got him surrounded. Do his best to juke in and out of the trees here, but another stun comes out from Carl. Leslau locked down. No lifesteal at the ready as T1 will claim another. They're absolutely doing it in these fights here. Savage is getting the cleanup. The team fight in the bag. Straight to the pit they go, and with Savage's damage, they'll be able to take this out in no time.
I was skeptical, but man, T1, they showed in the first game how long they could stall. In this game, they're showing how well they can pick and choose their fights so carefully. As it doesn't even feel like Quincy Crew's that far out of position, but they are just getting punished so hard. Maybe a bit too many stuns committed to the Abaddon there, as that's kind of his job, is to tank all the crap so that his rest of his teammates can operate without those Lion disables available. I really think MSS has to just be a bit more selective and even more patient. He doesn't have to go in when his teammates initiate like this.
There are definite difficulties for Quincy Crew regarding the way these fights are going down. Savage, yeah, that fight done. He's got the cheese in the bag at the top of the Aegis, ready for the next move. He's pretty much done to get that Aghanims complete. We'll see big arms as well. Cuckoo going for that MKB. 3,500 gold. That's going to be done pretty shortly. So these huge threats done in amp up against Quinn. It's best to respond. Wants to get the Eon disc. Make sure he has somewhere breaking out of this combo. And this initial big burst that can come out if he does get caught by a stray crit from Savage in his daggers.
Yeah, now that the game momentum has shifted, I'd love to see Leslau adjust a bit. I don't think the stun is what they need anymore. I think like a Lotus Orb to give you a little bit of armor. They have all single target initiation on the side of T1, the Curse, the Burrow Strike, the PA spells, and the Viper Strike. If you can just enable and make it a little bit more difficult for T1, make them hesitate a little bit with their Blink Burrow Strike, then it might be able to make the fights go in your favor, but we'll see what he elects to do. That's what I would go personally, but I also usually play it on the safe side, and that's not always what's going to win you games.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's definitely still weighing up the options here, Leslau. It's T1.
Yeah,
the mid lane pushing in.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tower's pretty nicely here with the damage of Savage.
Radiant's middle tower
Cuckoo
is under
with
attack.
that shard.
Dyer's bottom tower
And to
is
make
under
sure that these buildings absolutely
Radiant's
melt.
middle tower has fallen.
Juiced armor. Keep pushing on it, T1. I mean, no reason not to. Aegis
Radiant's middle tower
on
is under
Savage.
attack.
What's Quincy Crew going to do about it? They're going to have to come back for some sort of defense here, Quincy Crew. Not going to don't want to let this go.
Radiant's middle tower
Already has it. Quick heal with the cold embrace. Savage, they're keeping him sustained perfectly. They're trying for the split push. You've got Lesnar working on the top lane. You're Wild working on the bottom.
Dire's top tower
Kind of bringing in a taste of what T1 were trying themselves in game one. Just looking to avoid the head-on fight here and make sure that they could do everything as possible to sort of pull your T1 apart across the map rather than fighting them head-on. The problem is, I guess, that this game for Quincy Crew is it will come eventually. They have to take the 5v5 and they just don't necessarily have that carry that's going to offer the same insane physical burst potential that Savage and PA will scale towards.
Yeah, he did go for the full Hex, so that does give him solo kill threat on the map, considering the fact that he's going to have Boots of Travel as well as the Nature's Prophet to follow him up, so he can set that up himself. I believe that's what he's going for, as we also see the PA got her courier snipe, so 23savage didn't quite have the Ags as early as he'd wanted. Gonna have to wait a little bit longer there. Curious if he decides to queue up the Nullifier against the inevitable Ghost Scepters, Eon Discs that's already on the Wind Ranger, purges the Wind Run, just makes it that much easier to focus targets. But because he has so many healers and enablers behind him, it looks like he's kind of playing for his own game rather than looking to counter the survivability of the opponents.
Yeah, I like it because I think it's, you know, as you say, even though you might not necessarily have the control the Nullifier offers, just the ability to make it very unlikely that Quincy Crew will quite be able to take him out in that initial burst attempt. You know, when 23savage turns and starts to fight, there's going to have to be a lot of splitting up from Quincy Crew and just running away really for the most part. They want to avoid this PA at all costs with how strong 23savage is becoming. I mean, well, to be fair, it's already become. It's 15 to 19, maybe down on the kills, but the 2K lead, you know, T1 really starting to build up the momentum over into their favor as the minutes passed.
Yeah, this Ags makes it so your blur is 100% uptime. And if you look at the abilities of Quincy Crew that start the fight, they have to point click you. They have to target you. If they ever have AoE stuns, the Ags on PA can be relatively underwhelming. But assuming he's blurred, they have to blink on him, wait for that slight fade time to come off, and he should be able to pop his BKB in that duration. It's now suddenly so hard for them to ever kill 23savage, and I was just talking about how easy it was earlier. Quite a turn of events.
T1 then being able to get there. Really, nothing can be done by Quincy Crew. They have everybody alive, but no maneuver to be made to do anything about this straight up brute pressure that T1 can now apply. As we saw last game, Savage is getting to this stage where they just couldn't deal with it. And it's really looking to be that this game, it may just end up going the same old fashion unless Quincy Crew could catch them by surprise. Maybe try and take away those around the PA, but it's just going to be so hard to do so. The problem with the PA is as much as you can't kill it, you can't really ignore it. She's just going to kill some of your squishier heroes so quickly.
Yeah, this is just not the way Quincy Crew's lineup's meant to function. They don't want to 5v5 you directly. They want you to constantly be split up dealing with the lanes. And now that T1 has relieved a lot of that pressure, decent amount of items and the Boots of Travel as well up on the Sand King, it allows them to be much greedier on the map, having the superior lane pressure at all times. Yes, you are trying to get that side lane pressure to maybe deter this high ground push, but T1's already knocking on your door.
And you got to do something about it. You didn't do anything to stop them from taking the mid melee racks. What can you achieve here? Spiders being sent in immediately to their death. Savage.
Radiant's
quick casual tap and the spiders are gone. Another Rax is exposed. Quincy Crew wants the move to be made. Carl's in, ready to kill more spiders off there. In with the Hex onto Carl. They try and burst him with the finger they can. They burst the Sand King. Sand King's gone. Set up into the splitter down onto Whitemon and Cuckoo. Savage is going to take down the spider army. See if he can catch more out of this Quincy Crew. T1 will start to back off now that they've lost Carl. Still, they have to respect this PA. Savage still ready to fight. He's backing onto the left side. The Hex rolls down from MSS. Turn with the stop of the curse is there. Zephyr, he's able to get the three of them. Carl's in with the buyback. The 3-man Burrow strike at the set up there for Savage to pop off. BKB's pop. Quinn, they'll kite him up. The Eon Disc is going to come to waste. He's got the BKB, but Savage, he's chasing down. They turn with the Hex into the stun. Corner braces there, keeping Savage safe. That's Quinn gone. No buyback on him. Leslau also to fall as T1 turn focus the Spider. They've got no buyback on the Brood. Quinn, he's back in. They'll have to defend though, 4 versus 5, and T1, they're pushing for more. They're ready to go towards the tier 4 towers. Okay, they'll go for the Brax first. Make sure that they clean up a second set. 20 to 20, the kills even all Savage. Right for the TP out, we'll be able to cancel this. Over to the side, Quinn's caught Cuckoo. Big kill onto the Viper.
Hitting tier 4s.
They're going to jump back in on this. It's another buyback. They are going for the pressure here from Yawar. Zephyr's going to be in with the defense though, and back in the base. That is the Lion gone. Quinn, he bought back for this, but they closed the gap. Quinn's gone. Yawar tried his best efforts to put the split push on, but the amount of damage that T1's coming in on this mid. Yawar's doing his best, but they closed the gap with the Burrow strike. They keep him hitting with the Glimmer Cage. Savage is back. Here he comes in. You've got the BKB back up in a few seconds. Savage, he's in. He's ready to go. Savage commits it onto Yawar. Ultra kill for him. Yawar, he'll buy back, but he's the last man left standing here for the side of Quincy Crew. He's given it his all, Yawar. Can he hold this game? 1 versus 4 right now for the next 40 seconds at least. Yawar has achieved amazing things in the past. Can he hold the base here alone? He's got BKB back up.
Middle tower is under attack.
He's got a big ult coming through. Savage trying to close it. Yawar, in with the creeps, taking the aggro away. He's got this Ghost Scepter.
Radiant structure.
Giving it all here, Yawar trying to take T1's attention away from the base, but T1, they're not faltering. They're focusing the towers, they're looking to get the game end before any of the other heroes are back in action. The second tier 4 falls, 5 seconds to the lines, and Yawar throwing his body in. He says, please, look towards me. Ignore the Ancient, take the fight, but they're not doing so. They're focusing the Ancient.